When I was a teenager, I played a game called Little Computer People, in which there was no clear winning conditions, but rather the goal was to keep your character that live in a cutaway two-dimensional three-story house alive and healthy through constant interaction, game playing, food delivery, and general harassment. It was the original Tamagotchi, in that the character could act and react to your actions, get sick, and even die. Or, if you dared to pirate the software, he would just stand there pounding on the screen while waggling his finger at you in clear disapproval. In its own way, the character was more than your personal goldfish or digital pet, but rather your captive. Combine that with Activision's insistence through their marketing drive and title, as well as the accompanying documentation that fully kept up the pretense that the little people were real and actually living inside your computer, kind of made the whole experience really dark. I personally like games with a dark and subtle theme, so when I first saw this game pop up on my Steam's coming soon game list, I was immediately intrigued. It has a visual design akin to the previous title, but with a much deeper and darker undertone. This'll Gamer Toilet Duck here, and today I'm going to be playing a little bit of the demo version of Mr. Prepper.
Ever since the plague and the change of the government, this town has been unbearable, lifeless, filled only with boredom, propaganda, and control. I've tried to escape, and I've failed this time. But I'll find a way. They call me Mr. Prepper.
So this game isn't actually voice acted, which I kind of like that. I kind of like the little grunts and groans and humphs as they talk. Harumph. Well, and with that, welcome to Murricaville. Great name. So the graphics are not, like, stunning, but they're good. I mean, this is a good-looking game. And, again, I really like what they're going for here. It's a little dark. Now this, you can see the house, everything is done through just clicking on the ground, moving around, and doing stuff, and then you can interact with literally everything. So that was well done. This is a strategy game. There's no doubt about it. This is a strategy game that there's obviously a much deeper story here that we're not privy to yet. Maybe? I don't know. So this, in the beginning, the demo is really just a tutorial. So all I'm doing is I'm going through and I'm learning how to go about playing the game. And it's cool. I mean, this is a neat thing. I'm really looking forward to the depth of, what are the possibilities. But you control your character, and he can do all sorts of stuff. He can read things, he can grab things, he can go places. There are more places than just the house. There are, woods, and there are, actually it seemed like there are a lot of other places. But they all have this very similar two-dimensional feel to it, which it kind of reminds me of a game that was out a long time ago called The Realm, which I'm not even sure that's still around, but that's kind of how it plays. And I don't know, I dig it. I like this sort of thing. It's kind of cool. But what's obviously the trick is, though, the base building aspect of it. And we'll get to that here shortly. But, down below, there is a base, for the lack of a better term, that I'm going to be building. I'm going to be, to get one over on the man. I'm going to be building or prepping for whatever future conflict, I guess, or to escape or whatever is coming. And you have to do that in a survival game sort of way, meaning, you have to harvest materials, you have to build things in a certain order, and I'm hoping it's not too samey. So sometimes with some of these games, when you do a survival mechanic style game, you have to survive by doing the exact right things in the exact right order, and that order never changes. So from playthrough to playthrough, there's no randomness. Now, I don't know if this game is going to have randomness. I hope so. Because number one goal, survive. Yeah, I hope there is a playthrough randomness to it, so that each time you play through, things change a little differently. Like that, the guy comes and inspects differently, or the stuff that you're given is different, or maybe the ground is different. Like I'm hoping that something is different. Like you can see here, I'm going to go down and build the initial bunker. I get the impression this bunker is always the same. But then from there, below that, you can build and do whatever you want because, well, maybe conditions change from game to game. I really don't know, but I hope so. Now again, because this game is, tutorial in nature, everything revolves around kind of instructing you on how to do it. So like up there in the top left, you keep having these drop downs that tell you how to do stuff. And so right now it's introducing you to the workbench. Now the workbench, I think, is probably the, again, it's one of the big MacGuffins in the game, in that you will always be going to the workbench or from the workbench to craft and create things. And that's fine. That's no big deal. The only thing that I didn't like about this, and you'll see here in a little while, just as the inspector comes, is you can pick that workbench up and stuff it in your pocket, which, well, okay, concessions have to be made, but other than that, it seems cool that the workbench is limited. You can only do certain things, and you have to upgrade the workbench, and you have to get materials. And again, typical crafting game. If you like a crafting game, survival game / dark, strategic game, this is the game for you. And again, I really like that literally everything is consumable. So for example, there's some later on you have to build lights, and to build lights you have to come up with glass. Well, where did we have glass? Well, there's glass in the kitchen in the form of plates, in the form of literally glasses, things like that. Then you can literally harvest those for what you need, and that's pretty cool. The way they're doing this here right now is this trade mechanic. You basically do everything mail order. So you get on Sergi J, which I guess is Amazon, and you trade money for whatever thing that you want. Now the one thing I don't know is it possible to get money? So if I go into the woods over here, follow the sign and go to the woods or the forest, and I find some valuable thing, can I sell it? Can I harvest some of this wood and then sell it and get money? Or, I don't know. There's a bunch that you just kind of don't know, and it's kind of left up to discover later on. And again, this is the only other area in the demo that actually works. Like you can see that sign, and there's kind of a path that leads off straight away. You can't follow that in the demo, unfortunately. Of course not. They absolutely want to sell you the main game. And by the way, they've sold me the main game. I will absolutely be buying this game. So the crafting aspect of the game, though, is a lot of fun, and how things kind of come together to build is really cool. And if you guys are interested in this, I'll link down below their primary trailer of the game, and what this guy, the base that he ultimately builds, looks like he got a nuclear missile in a bunker down below. It's ridiculous. Which again, that seems like it goes I don't know. The whole, remember, plan 1 is to survive, plan 2 is to escape. So are we escaping in a missile, or are we blowing something up? Like, what? I don't understand what's going on. So again, there's just a lot of depth here, and it's interesting. And again, going for the darkness, this guy, I don't know, maybe he'll report you. Maybe he's your friend. You see neighbors walking around in the background. Are they going to turn you in? Can you go visit them? I just don't know. There's so many aspects of this that could potentially be really very clever and or horrible, depending on your style of gameplay. So it's interesting that it marks off the day. This implies to me that you have a certain number of days to do everything. So this might be a very time-gated game, in that after a certain amount of time, things progress to the point where, well, you're boned. No matter what. Hopefully you've done by now. But here's the primary MacGuffin in the game. You have these agent inspections. And the idea behind the agent inspection is he's coming to make sure you are still a good peon. And you can see the text there where it says open the door and agent arrived is going red. I don't know what happens if you don't open the door. It's one of those things I actually didn't notice that the text was turning colors until I was doing this recording. And so I don't know if he just kicks the door in and comes in at that point or what. But this is where you could really screw up. So I screwed up. At the top, I forgot to turn the board around. And, yeah, that was a mistake. And I'm like, oh no, is there a way for me to get up there? Like, while he's still here, it's like, God, like, click somewhere, go, get up there and turn it around. It's like, nope. Once the agent is in the room, you're done. You just stand there and be the good boy. And I thought, well, I just ended my game. It's not even 15 minutes into the game, and I've just killed it. And he doesn't react. It would be interesting to see like a reaction of him going over and seeing it, but he does absolutely see it. And it's one of those things when he leaves, he gives me this paperwork that says that he saw it, and here it is. And I don't know what this means. It's a negative result. It's suspiciousness. At some point we will. I didn't notice it in the tutorial, but maybe I just missed it. But at some point, those numbers will mean something, and then what happens? Do you just lose? Does the Gestapo raid you? What happens? I don't know. I'm really curious because, like I said, this game has the potential to be just incredibly dark and humorous, really. And I think dark humor in a game is some of the best humor there is. But see, at this point now, it's convinced you to put the workbench down in the basement area, and really this is where you start the bigger build. And you're going to build down, and you're going to start building your gardens and your other stuff. I mean, everything you need to survive, the coming conflict, I guess. So that's where I'm going to leave this, guys. I don't want to spoil it for you. I definitely recommend playing it. If you like a strategy game, this seems like it's going to be amazing. Again, the game itself is not out yet. This is just the demo. The demo is free to play. The ultimate game is not, but it's not out yet. And I can't wait to see what they're going to do. This is going to be really cool. I am going to thoroughly enjoy playing this. To the developers, thank you. This is awesome. I cannot wait to see where you're going with this. I really hope it does have a very dark sense of humor. I just like that sort of thing, and I think it goes a long way with that. I always point to games like Portal and other games that have a real dark sense of humor. It just works for some reason in games. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. If you like what I'm doing on this channel, do me a favor and like and subscribe down there. Comment down below if you've given Mr. Prepper a trial, if you like it. And yeah, what do you hope they do? What do you hope they don't do? If you want to leave a comment for a developer or something like that, comment down below. I'm sure they'll read this because it is a small team. So anyways, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you next time.